Hello, I am a Ball State early childhood education major, and today I am going to talk to you about teaching children, even the youngest children, about consent and how to respect their bodies and other people's bodies. I am the health and safety coordinator for a local Muncie childcare, and I am also the former lead preschool teacher of the 3-year-old room. So I have daily experience working with younger children and teaching these concepts on the daily and showing parents how they can facilitate the same instruction in their homes. So I'm going to give you some tips. The specific child care center I work at serves ages 6 weeks to 8 years of age. So I have had experience with anywhere in that range, and I hope this video helps. Thank you. One of the most important concepts that humans must learn in the society is the concept of consent, and consent can be taught as early as infancy. In infancy, it is important to teach and role model consent through various different methods. One of these methods is that before ever picking up or physically interacting with a child, explain to them exactly what you're doing. For example, if you need to change your baby's diaper, warn them, give them a 5-minute warning, or tell them, I am going to pick you up and we are going to go and change your diaper. This way, they know exactly what is going on and they're not afraid in this situation. Even after changing them 40, 50 times, it is still important to let them know exactly what you're doing so that they feel in control of their bodies. They should always know that they are in control of their bodies, and that their body is theirs. You should also teach them what the anatomical names for their genitalia are. This way they can communicate exactly what they need, what has happened to them, any sort of pain they're experiencing without ever any innuendo occurring, and they can communicate this to any caregiver that is in their vicinity. The next thing that I would consider from infancy would be to teach them how to say no and how to respect it. For example, if you're playing with your child or your cousin or any other child you're interacting with and you're tickling them, practice allowing them to say no and you stopping. As soon as they say no, you stop, even if they're kidding. That way they know that saying no means that they are done and you are respecting their body. You should also advocate for other people to respect their bodies. All family members, any other caregivers that interact with a child should respect their no's and their please stops, even if they are kidding. The next thing would be to also role model this. So, if they ask to sit on your lap and you're busy, be sure to tell them no and tell them exactly why. Or if you just don't feel like cuddling or hugging or kissing them, you need to tell them that. You need to tell them this is my body and that is yours, and we're not going to do that right now. As students get older, you should teach them to also do this for their bodies and demand respect of their bodies. This includes not forcing children to physically interact with their family members. Children should not be forced to hug or kiss family members simply because they are family. If they do not want to give a hug, do not force them. This allows them to be in control of their own bodies and allow other people to respect them for this. Don't allow your family members to force them to love them in a physical manner. They don't need to. Another way to teach consent as children get older is to allow them to clean themselves before cleaning them. For example, if they make a huge mess at the table and there's food all over their face, give them a baby wipe and allow them to start the cleaning process. If they're not clean after that, help them out a little bit, but warn them, of course, as I've already stated. Tell them, you have some food still stuck on your forehead. I'm going to wipe it off. This also extends to bath time. As children get older, they will be able to understand what you are doing, and they will understand how to do it themselves. And the main concept of consent is having control over your own body and not relinquishing that control without your own willingness to do so. Another way to teach consent is to allow them to have the words to communicate consent. Teach them how to ask for permission. Teach them how to ask to hold hands, how to ask to give a hug, how to ask to give kisses, and how to ask to interact with anyone physically. This includes their older family members. They should not just assume that their grandma constantly wants a hug, even if she does. They should always ask. The final thing I want to discuss about teaching consent at a young age is teaching them to have a safe space where they can discuss if consent is violated. This would require them to have a physical safe space, as in a quiet area to sit or a rocking chair they sit in while you speak to them, but also having the words to say when they feel uncomfortable. They need to know what it feels like in their body to be uncomfortable. Help them identify that emotion if you see it occurring. And allow them to talk it out and explain exactly why they're uncomfortable, because they might not understand those big emotions and they will need your help to walk through it. So these are some different tips on how to teach consent. And my final note would be that even if you think what you're doing is going over their head, that they're just a baby and they're not going to understand you asking them every time you go to take them to the restroom, believe me, they know a lot more than you think they do, and the language that you use to communicate with them will stick with them long after you've even thought about it.